Hello and welcome to English Unlocked, the podcast that helps you go beyond the textbook and truly start speaking English with confidence. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Lucy. We're so glad you're tuning in today. We're tackling a topic that we get asked about all the time: how to speak English fluently.
It's a big one for sure. You might know that feeling. You're reading an article or watching a movie and you understand everything perfectly. But then when it's your turn to speak, the words just get stuck.
That stuck feeling is incredibly common. It's the gap between knowing the language and using the language. But here's the good news. It's not a permanent state. It's a hurdle you can absolutely overcome.
Exactly. So in this episode, we're going to break down some actionable, real-world strategies to take you from a hesitant speaker to a confident conversationalist. Ready, Lucy?
Let's do it.
Segment 1, the fluency mindset. It's not about perfection. All right, first things first, let's redefine fluency. Many learners think it means speaking flawless, perfect English, just like a native-born speaker from London or New York.
And that's a huge pressure to put on yourself. True fluency isn't about perfection, it's about communication. It's being able to express your thoughts, share your ideas, and connect with another person clearly and without excessive hesitation. A few ums and ahs are totally normal, even for native speakers.
That is such a critical point. The fear of making mistakes is probably the single biggest barrier for learners. We worry about choosing the wrong word or using the wrong grammar, and that fear paralyzes us.
Absolutely. But think about it. Every single person who has learned a new language has made thousands of mistakes. I know I did when I was learning Spanish. They're not failures, they're learning opportunities. So our first tip is to completely change your mindset. Embrace imperfection.
Give yourself permission to stumble. The goal isn't a perfect sentence. The goal is to communicate. The more you speak, mistakes and all, the faster you will learn and the more fluent you will become.
Segment 2. Active speaking versus passive learning. Okay, so we've got the right mindset. Now for the practical stuff. You can't learn to swim just by reading the manual, right?
Definitely not. And you can't learn to speak English by only listening to it or doing grammar exercises. Those things are helpful, they are a piece of the puzzle, but you have to activate the language.
Exactly. So here are a few ways to move from passive learning to active speaking. My personal favorite, and it might sound a little weird at first, is to talk to yourself.
The inner monologue trick. I love this one.
Yes, narrate your day. As you're making breakfast, just say it out loud in English. Okay, I'm getting the eggs out of the fridge. Now I need to find a pan. It's a zero-pressure way to practice forming sentences and recalling vocabulary in real time.
Another great active technique is shadowing. This is incredibly powerful for your pronunciation and rhythm. Find a short audio clip of a native speaker, maybe from a movie, a news report, or even another podcast.
And the technique is simple. Listen to one sentence, pause the audio, and then immediately repeat it. The key is to try and imitate everything, not just the words, but the melody, the intonation, the rhythm. It literally trains the muscles of your mouth to produce English sounds more naturally.
A final and maybe the most powerful tip in this section is to think in English. This is a game changer.
It really is. Many learners get stuck because they are constantly translating in their head. They think of the sentence in their native language first, then translate it word for word into English. It's slow and often leads to unnatural sounding sentences.
So make a conscious effort to stop that internal translation. Start small. When you see a car, try to have the word car pop into your head directly. As you get more comfortable, you can start narrating your thoughts or opinions inside your head, but directly in English.
Segment 3. Building your vocabulary and sounding natural.
Okay, let's talk about words. You can't speak without them, but fluency is about more than just memorizing a dictionary.
Right. It's about learning words in context. Our tip here is to learn chunks, not just single words. A chunk is a group of words that naturally go together.
For example, instead of just learning the word book, learn phrases like, I'm reading a good book, to book a flight, or doing things by the book. When you learn these chunks, they come to you as a single unit, which makes your speech much faster and more natural.
And where do you find these chunks? By immersing yourself in native content. Watch, listen, and read things you genuinely enjoy.
This is the fun part. Watch movies, binge that popular TV show, find YouTubers who talk about your hobbies, listen to English music. The more you expose yourself to the language as it's really used, the more you'll naturally absorb vocabulary, slang, and cultural context.
A quick tip on that: start with English subtitles on. As you improve, challenge yourself to turn them off. You'll be surprised by how much you can understand from context.
Segment 4. Finding opportunities to speak. Okay, this is the final and often biggest hurdle for many: finding people to actually talk to. You have the mindset, you have the techniques, but you need to put it into practice.
It can be intimidating, but there are more opportunities now than ever before. A fantastic option is to find a language exchange partner. This is a win-win. You find a native English speaker who wants to learn your native language.
You can connect on various websites and apps, and then you split your time. Maybe you speak 30 minutes in English, and then you switch and help them with your language for 30 minutes. It's a relaxed, supportive way to have real conversations.
If you're able to, another great option is hiring an online tutor. Even just 1 or 2 sessions can provide you with structured conversation practice and personalized feedback on your specific challenges.
And don't forget online communities. There are countless forums, Discord servers, and social media groups for English learners. Jump into the conversation, participate in discussions, and you'll often find people who are happy to practice speaking via voice notes or video calls.
We've covered a lot today: the right mindset, active practice techniques, and ways to find speaking partners. It all comes down to taking action.
That's the key. So here's your challenge for this week. Pick just one thing we talked about today and do it. Just one. Maybe it's narrating your morning routine or downloading a language exchange app.
Small steps taken consistently are what lead to fluency. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep speaking.
That's all the time we have for today on English Unlocked. Thanks so much for listening.
Join us next time for more tips to help you on your English journey. Until then, happy learning.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe, follow, like, share this video to get more video like this.